Let's do this. I'm back. Hey, check out this cool lighting I did one time. And there's another shot from the same show. Pretty cool, huh? I liked it. Pretty proud of it. Whoa, you got notes and stuff. All right. And press X to pull up the mixer. So one thing first that gets, again, I know this isn't like a mix, but immediately everything is just right down the middle, and that means it's gonna be hard for me to like hear what's going on. Oh, we're gonna have some fun with Logic Drummer in a bit. Yeah. All the guitars are the same tone. I mean, apparently they're not, but so I just want to do things to make things stand out as they're different instruments. So you have a bus 3. Is this bus 3? This is bus 3. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Did the right thing there. On busing, there's a few reasons. Oh, there's probably a ton of creative reasons to do it. One technical reason is like it's getting less and less important as far as processing goes, depending on at what bit rate sample rate you recorded at. We'll get to that at another time. But eventually, if you had a reverb on each channel because you knew, I want reverb on everything, right? Each different channel is running a different plugin, and each plugin is having to process that. If you have a bus like you have here, and that's your reverb bus, then you can bus everything to that reverb, and you only have one plugin processing that sound. So it uses less processing. The plugins use a lot of processing compared to other things, apparently. I am not a dude that created Logic. But that's one reason. And then it's also just so you can organize things. Like you can also do like, okay, you have 2 guitars here, right? So why not send them, instead of to the stereo out, send them to, we'll do bus 11 and call that guitars. And now when you hit play, if you want to adjust all the guitars, you can turn them down. You'll notice the reverb from the guitars is still coming in, which is interesting. Because you would actually usually then maybe, well, not usually, you might then send that to the reverbs. Also, if you want to do anything, you may do one EQ for all the guitars. Like you may put a high pass that's the same on everything, so that your bass could come through more easily. You don't have a bass though, so we're not going to worry about that. Go ahead and turn that off because it's not being used. So like, yeah, I'll usually have like a drum bus, a guitars bus, vocals bus, because there's some things I'm going to do to all of those in order to get everything to play nicely together. Let's go ahead and just split these guitars some. And just doing that, all of a sudden I hear the different stuff. Let's go back to the beginning. Because, again, you can double tap the pan and then type in a value, which if you're trying to get to 0 is the easiest, in my opinion. So yeah, and you got this Vox. Let's go ahead. This is called vocals, even though it's not vocals. Let's go ahead and give it an amp though, man. Let's make it interesting. Let's go brown sound. Really like the brown sound. Brown out clean. Do we want to give it a... Uh-oh. It's probably because I'm recording. Although I've had that happen. This is a pretty hefty computer, but... No, you know, it's like right now, like there's 3 guitars, and I totally lost the lead there, the Vox, because nothing's panned and everything sounds the same. So if we just pan these a little bit, I'm going to use I guess it's the comma key, but it's actually, I think of it as that little arrow key. We're going to go back a little bit. Now I can hear that vocal a little bit better. Now, if this was actual vocal, I would probably boost a little bit, somewhere 2 to 4K. So that's 2 dB boost in a very wide sweep. But now I can go over to the guitars and do the opposite. This is called mirror EQ. And so basically, I'm taking, because I want the guitars to have their space, and especially you want the vocals to have their space. So, and obviously this isn't really a vocal. And to be more realistic with what's really happening, if we go to the vocal and look at what's going on, it's got a lot happening here. So actually, I'm gonna undo that. Again, you can type stuff in here. So double click, I'm gonna zero that out. I'm gonna go over to the guitars and take out in that region we saw, that mid-range region. And that should give, we'll put this back at 0 because we don't care. So going back to where we were. So because we chiseled out a little bit from the guitars in the range, so this is the guitars, Guitar Master, Submaster. We chiseled out, it's just like 2.5 dB. And then the vocals, when it's playing, has a bunch in that range. So in fact, we could go wider, it's going down really low. Probably because I use that brown sound. So let's make this a little wider. We can adjust the Q, as it were, like that. And so now, without adjusting the volume, we've made it easier to hear the lead. Technically, we did adjust the volume because we lowered the decibels in that frequency, but it's not exactly the same. And so that's a good example of if you bus. So even though it's not off this bus, it is bus. The guitars are bussed to this Guitar Submaster. And I know that I want to do that EQ to both guitars, so why take the time to like chisel out the individual guitars when I could just do it on the Submaster? And we have no lead there. To me, I'm a heavy metal dude, so this heavy strumming stuff makes more sense to me if there was more dirt on it. And you know, so I'll just get into the amp and like, it doesn't need to be heavy, but, and this one, yeah, good. You use different amps, I agree. That way you have a different tone. That's not even playing yet. Now this second guitar is in a stereo configuration for some reason. Something on here is stereo. I don't know. Oh, that's where you're getting your distortion. Okay. That's cool. It was probably... It's probably that. Oh, there we go again. Alright. Or, what's that? Yeah. No. I don't know. But I wonder if we just get rid of those. I'm assuming those aren't automated, so I'm gonna... Do you have some buzz on them? Anyway, something made that stereo, and it doesn't need to be. There we go. I don't think that's a big deal at all. It just looks weird to me, so... Cool. Now, you got a low pass on this, even... Oh, it's not actually... Even though you don't have a bass, which if you don't have a bass, I would go ahead and open up the low pass just so there's all the information. That's not a big deal. None of it's a big deal, but when you know, that whole thing, when you do a whole bunch of different things, you might end up with something you could... Let's try a ribbon. Let's test that. Okay, so this is guitar 2. The different microphone models make a difference. So you got it on, was that one? No. Dynamic 20, I think? No. 57. No, oh, no. That is not that one. No. This mic, I don't know what this real mic is, and I've never used it for sure, but it's really bright and kind of brittle, which could be great to help something cut through, but like, check out how much more warm that ribbon is. Or the... Come on. So next time you play, it should be playing. Why is it not playing? Well, that might be this. What the? I've lost all my sound. Let's stop the video. Oh, no. I'm gonna quit Logic and come back. There we go. That's like nice, warm, and dusty. I dig it. Now, this thing definitely needs some reverb. So you have a large plate and large studio. The other thing's going to large plate, so I'll send this to large studio. Oh, you gotta send it too, so. Alright, so that's me playing around with that. I'm going to do the drummer thing next. See you in a bit.